Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. If this is your first time to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and also click on that bell button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. So today what we're going to be talking about are what ideas I have in store for 2020 for my channel, and also some of the goals and that I want to achieve before December 31st of 2020. One of the things that I want to do right off the bat is when I started taking down all my Christmas ornaments and all the decorations from the holidays, I noticed that I have two living rooms. I really don't have both living rooms flow together. I don't have a lot of decorations to complete both redecorating both of my living rooms and also my workspace area. So before we continue with this video, I'm gonna show you a small clip of how it looks right now. Okay, so this is where my workspace area, nothing special. My window, I have all my crafts on top of this storage bin that's from IKEA. And then I have a simple wood table from IKEA as well that has wheels. My husband put wheels on it. So basically this is my recording area. I typically have this box full of items that I'm going to use for that week, and that little basket as well. I have another table back here that I use in case I need just more space. And what I did to this table was basically I screwed on two of those cups from Dollar Tree, like the pencil holders, and then the hooks from Dollar Tree as well. I placed them on there for my glue gun, a rag, and even some bags for trash. So yeah, that's my recording area that I want to fix up a little bit better than what it is now. So now I'm embarrassed to show you, but this is my living room. This is basically the way you walk in. Here is just like a little table for your entry table with my mirror and a chair that I've been wanting to DIY and fix up. I had it for somewhere else, so I want to fix it for the living room. There's my dog Molly. My coffee table is glass, and usually I have that in the center, but since I was taking everything down from Christmas, it's on the wall. But yeah, there's my other, that's Mom, sorry, that's Luna, not Molly. But yeah, those are my dogs. And this is the other living room, my second living room. It's smaller. It's supposed to be a dining room, but we use it as a living room, a TV room. And as you can tell, I don't have much on the walls. I don't have anything else. It's just all brown leather sofas. And a clock on the wall. So yeah, I need some help. I have a lot of work ahead of me to get this all done and nice and pretty. So hopefully we'll be able to get it all done within a few months. Tell it's pretty plain. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint my living room areas just yet, but I am going to start adding color in there. I'm going to start adding more furniture. I'm going to reduce some of the furniture in there and reupholster it and repaint it. So yeah, I want to add that to my channel, more of a thrift store hauls and refurbish and redo thrift store finds. So that's one of the things that I want to incorporate into my channel, not just for my living room, but just items in general for my kitchen and everywhere else. I'm a huge thrift store shopper, so I love finding deals, even yard sales. So that's something that I want to take you guys along with me and kind of show you what I'm purchasing and why I'm purchasing it. And then once I get home and everything, show you a tutorial of how I'm going to do whatever I decide to do with whatever item. So stay tuned for more of those kind of tutorials. So another thing that I want to add to my channel as well is do more party theme centerpieces, party theme tutorials. In other words, say I want to make, say I'm going to make a centerpiece for a wedding. Well, then I also want to incorporate another DIY to make maybe a centerpiece, to make the centerpiece, of course, and then also maybe to do a backdrop that matches the centerpiece or that goes with that centerpiece, or even say the dessert table and do all the trays and and the setup for you to I know in most of the events that we have in our family, we include our children. So there's a lot of, little fingers and little hands grabbing all the desserts. So what I typically like to do is basically individually wrap most, or if not all, of the desserts. And when I do that, I typically try to decorate them and make them go all evenly flow together, or actually make the theme of whatever I'm doing a part of the dessert treats themselves. And you're interested in, is that something you might want me to incorporate into my tutorials as well, into my channel? More of like the baking part of it, which really isn't baking. Like I said, I typically buy most of my desserts and then I just add to them to make them more look more homemade, or to make them look more of whatever theme is going on in my party. So again, let me know in the comments down below for another idea that I have for 2020. I am Hispanic, and that's something that I'm very proud of. So I want to incorporate more of the bilingual tutorials as well into my channel. So that's something that is very important to me. So I know I'm going to do that. I'm just not sure how yet, but stay tuned for those kind of tutorials as well. And then another thing that I want to reach is to get over my camera shyness. I'm very shy in front of the camera. I'm really not used to this. That's why when I chose to do my tutorials, I've always chosen to try my best just to show kind of my hands and what I'm doing with my hands itself and not my face. But I do want to incorporate more of the chat with me type of tutorials, kind of talk a little bit more of different subjects or things that are going on in life. Just to kind of get to know you and get to know me type of tutorials. So hopefully you'll enjoy those tutorials as well as the same kind that I'm making now. And also, when I started my channel, I wasn't planning, or I didn't think I would reach as many subscribers as I have now. My goal was to reach 300 to 500 at the most, and that would have been amazing to have reached 500 subscribers in my first year. But to have reached 7,000 plus subscribers is amazing to me. It's humbling. But I want to better myself, and I also want to challenge myself. So my challenge itself is to try to reach double that amount of subscribers by the end of 2020, if not more. Of course, it would be amazing to reach more than double, but I need help for that there. So I'm asking all of you for help. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel. You'll enjoy it. I promise you, you won't regret it. So I'm asking all of you to please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe, and share all my videos. It truly, truly will help my channel grow. So with that being said, let's go ahead, and I have a small tutorial for you today. So let's go ahead and start with that tutorial. Okay, so what you're going to need first are 2 of these pictures that you can get at Dollar Tree. They have the unicorn eyes on them. What I did was remove the hooks from the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint them. But before I paint them, I'm going to show you you need a rolling pin, and then this is a piece of the plunger, handle. That's all wood as well. I had already cut this for a different DIY, so I'm going to use this extra piece to make the top part of my tier tray. And I just measured roughly 4 inches and went ahead and just sawed that piece off in order for me to use that little section. Once you've cut your piece of wood, just go ahead and sand the edges and where you sawed it off. And then I'm going to use chocolate. I'll leave the color down below. Again, I can't remember. It's chocolate, dark chocolate or milk chocolate, apple barrel paint. And I'm going to go ahead and paint everything, basically, both pictures and both of my pieces of rolling pin and my plunger handle. So just go ahead and paint the front and back of your pictures. I painted the picture side of my pictures, the front side of my pictures twice, because the first coat didn't really, you could still see some of the wording and color seeping through, so I went ahead and made sure I painted it twice. And then what's going to be the front of our tier tray, what I did was paint all the edges, and I didn't paint the center, and you'll see why in a few minutes, but I just painted all the edges. So once you've completely painted all your edges, go ahead and set both of these pictures aside and allow them to dry. Now get your rolling pin and your piece of wood from your plunger and go ahead and use the same color of paint, the brown from Apple Barrel, and paint it. What we're going to do after we paint our pieces of wood, you're going to get a rag, a wet rag, and what I do is just simply wipe down my piece of wood, and it gives it more of a stained finish type look onto your paint without using stain. So this is what I'm going to do with my rolling pin as well. Just go ahead and brush on your paint and just give it one even coat. You don't have to give that much. If you want it to be darker, basically leave your paint on there a little bit longer. The faster you take off the paint, the lighter the stain will look. So just go ahead, and you can do it, more than one time. If you don't like the color of the stain, once you've wiped it down the first time, go ahead and paint it again and then wipe it down again, and just continue to do that until you get it the color you like. I wanted it to be quite lighter, so I just left it on a few seconds basically and then wiped it down. So once everything is completely dry, what you're going to do is go ahead and either you're going to use some tile like what I have. And here I am turning off my TV because I watch my phone while I'm DIYing. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to figure out whether I'm going to glue my rolling pin first or glue those tiles from Dollar Tree. You can also use the paper from Dollar Tree or even the backdrop from Dollar Tree from the kitchen that you can use as well. I had these tiles from last year basically, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up using these, and I like the colors. It's the one with the copper and turquoise on it. And if you want the tile this kind of style, you can easily go to Lowe's and just buy individual stick-on tiles as well. So just go ahead and place your tile in the center of your wooden piece of picture. And as you saw, I did add a little bit of E6000 just to make sure that that tile stays nice and secure and in place, because I will be wiping it down. I'm not going to wash it per se with soap and water, but I am going to wipe it down, especially if I end up using this for a dessert table or something like that. So I did want to make sure that my tile stayed nice and firm and stayed in place. So once you're done with that, go ahead and flip it over to front side up of your picture. And what I did was just kind of eyeball and measure out the center of my picture and drew a circle where I'm going to put my rolling pin. Using some wood glue and a little bit of E6000 or a little bit of hot glue, just add a little bit just to make sure it stays in place while that wood glue dries. Go ahead and place it in that circle you drew and press down a little bit, and then just set it aside and allow it to dry. The wood glue does take a while to dry, so I would recommend you leaving it to dry for at least a good hour before you really move it around a lot. While that is drying, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to both of my pictures or my trays. I actually got some thumbtacks and just hammered them to the edges of my picture frame. And I did 2 on one side and then 1 and 2 and then 1. So kind of made a little pattern on my edges of my picture frame. So I did 2 and then I'm going to do 1 on this side. and then 2 on the opposite side, and then just do that to both of my picture frames or both of my trays. I can see myself, after I get tired of this brown color, I can see whitewashing this as well to make it more of that farmhouse style. So this is the way it looks. And what I'm going to do again is do it to the second tray as well. And once you've allowed that rolling pin to dry on your first picture frame, do the same thing, adding wood glue and hot glue to the bottom of your rolling pin, or the top if you want to say, but it would be the bottom. And then go ahead and place it on your bottom picture. And wipe off all the excess glue once you press down your rolling pin, set it aside and allow it to dry. While that is drying, get the small piece of wood that you cut off of your plunger or whatever you want to use. If you have another rolling pin, you can cut a smaller size of the rolling pin as well. And what I did was wrap around a little bit of jute twine to the bottom, and I'm going to use one of these shower curtain rings. And basically I'm going to remove that little hook that you connect it together with, and I'm going to wrap the shower curtain ring itself with some jute twine and just adding a little bit of hot glue to start off, and then just go ahead and wrap it around. You can even spray paint this. If you don't want to wrap jute twine around the shower curtain, you can spray paint it black to make it more of that metal look. Let me know in the comments below, are you going to paint yours or make it more whitewash? What style are you going to use this? Because I can see this in so many different ways. Tier trays are one of my favorite things to make, because basically you can put all your little knickknacks on it, little miniature pictures or little gifts that people give you. It's just, and you can use one in every room. It's just, I love making tier trays. So this one is going to go in my kitchen. It's more of the farmhouse country style, I guess you could say. I typically have a lot of whitewash items in my kitchen, so I want to mix it up more with the darker tones as well. So I went ahead and made this one for my kitchen. So once you're done wrapping all the jute twine around your shower curtain hook, go ahead and add some E6000 and a little bit of hot glue. Allow it to dry on top of your piece of wood that's going to go to the handle on top of your tier tray. And then again, adding some hot glue, and if you'd like, a little bit of wood glue to the top of your tray to add your handle to that. And then you can leave it as is and just allow it to dry for a few minutes before you move it around too much. But I decided to go ahead and get some of these wood Jenga blocks that I had already painted, and I'm going to add wood glue and make them to be a little bit more of a lift to my chair tray. And I just glued them onto all the 4 corners of the bottom tray. And of course you can add a little bit of hot glue to make sure it stays nice and secure and in place while everything dries. So there you have it. All wooden tier tray. What do you guys think? I hope you enjoy, and let me know in the comments below what color you'll be painting your tray. Until next time, you guys stay blessed. Bye.